Hello everyone and welcome home. I'm your friendly neighborhood hometown killer, and before we get into things, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry that I missed a video on Wednesday. I had a death in the family and I just decided to kind of take some time for myself, just to recuperate and stuff. So I apologize, but I'm gonna make it up to you today, because today we're gonna be talking about The Ones Who Live, episode 2, Gone. Now, before I begin, I also wanted to say that I am very thankful for the love you guys have showed for my last video covering The Ones Who Live, as well as just my channel in general. It's been helping with the growth, and it just means a fucking ton. So, just seriously, thank you guys. It has been an awesome, it's an awesome time doing this, and I just really love that you guys are enjoying it. So, thank you. And now, on to The Ones Who Live. Grab your sword, your armless walker, and some oxygen, because this one is a
doozy of a day. A real doozy.
Also, just a little spoiler alert, I will be spoiling a ton of shit about episode 1 and 2, so if you haven't seen the episode, go buy AMC Plus and watch the new episodes at 3 a.m. Sundays like me and my chosen family do. So, this episode begins with a huge mega herd as a bolt flies through a walker with gasoline cans all over him and a shirt that reads, "Gas me up and let me help you." He walks towards the camera as he begins to burn. Then we have the beautiful intro, which is just gorgeously done, and then we pick up 6 years after the infamous bridge.
One behind the orange car.
What? What the fuck is happening?
What the hell was that? The potato was fucking insane. I was holding it so fucking straight.
What a fucking...
Which means this episode directly picks up where Michonne's story left off in The Walking Dead. She has found King Bach and his lady and brought them back to their people. She explains herself and what she's doing, while the leader continues to try to persuade her to stay there permanently. But alas, she declines, for she's intent on finding her man. After continued arguing, a little guy named Nat shows up and slams the leader for their belief of not stopping or going back for anyone. He then convinces Michonne to stay the night, and then Nat, Aiden, and King Bach give her the leader's horse, some armor, and then Michonne is off to the mega herd we saw in the beginning. It's here that she shoots the anti-walker gun and blows up a small section of Horde, which ignites the gas man, and he blows up and his head knocks her right off the horse. This scene was crazy. Honestly, it was also kind of pretty funny, but you know, to each their own. Michonne draws her sword, ready to fight, not only for herself, but her children and her husband. But Michonne doesn't need this fight. She's surprised when 2 huge purple fireballs appear on either side of the valley, and Nat, Aiden, and Bailey show up, and they talk about how Michonne inspired them to leave, and how they want to join her in her search, and that they brought others with them. Together, they set forth on their journey to find Rick Grimes. On the way to Jersey, they're cutting through a town where we learn a bit of Nat's backstory, which is kind of tragic, but also really relatable, and it's here that the new crew is interrupted when a helicopter flies over, and then turns around and shoots fucking chlorine gas at the group of survivors. Michonne yells scatter, but it's too late. Almost everyone dies. Lucky enough, Michonne, Nat, Aiden, and Bailey make it to a shelter, and Michonne leaves to get some oxygen tanks for the group. Upon her return, we find out that Aiden has succumbed to the gas and died in her sleep. Michonne puts her down, and then follows some blood to find an undead Bailey trying to get Nat behind a counter with flames on it, a la Shaun of the Dead. Nat thanks her, and they begin oxygen and physical therapy. They continue this for a year as they try to get better. Eventually, they decide to make the last stop in Jersey before heading back to Alexandria. They set out and find the destination they were searching for, only it's not what they had hoped. For the giant cruise ship had been sank, and every soul aboard had been put down and burned. Michonne frantically searches every body until nightfall, and when her and Nat sit in front of a fire, he convinces her to go back home. The next morning, they come across another black helicopter and realize it's the same assholes that killed her friends. So Nat readies his anti-walker turned anti-aircraft weapon and shoots at the helicopter. He calls it a dud, but I think Okafor would disagree with him on that one. Then, he proceeds to shoot down the chopper and Michonne gets ready to kill these bastards. One by one, she slits throats, looking in their eyes until she lifts off the mask and for the first time in a decade, sees her husband. They embrace and Rick asks if Judith is alive, in which she says yes. They kiss and hold each other until Rick realizes that the CRM is coming. He tells her that they are, as Nat shows up on the scene. He asks if it's Rick and then is shot from behind by a soldier on the ground. Man, this show just really fucking loves killing off these, like, introductory characters. Like, Nat and Okafor are really good characters, and they just kill them both in their first episodes, and it's just like, god damn, like, you're bringing in this talent and killing them, so I guess it means the stakes are high, right? So, I mean, we can appreciate that. It's a lot higher than The Walking Dead, that's for sure. So, Michonne runs to Nat as Rick runs to earn his first human kill in the new show. Rick asks if she has anything that could tie them to Alexandria, and he grabs that stuff and tells her that he has to have his gun on her. He tells her to lie about her name and who she is as well, and what she calls the zombies, because he calls them walkers, so she can't call them that. The helicopter comes down as she smiles, very reminiscent of how Rick was smiling when the helicopter came down at the end of the main show. We are then treated to a scene where Michonne is interrogated and lies very well about who she is and where she's from. Afterwards, she is accepted into the fold as a consignee, and Rick finds her and brings her into a secret place where they make out and catch up a little bit about the past. They talk about whether or not they could stop the CRM and Judith, and she almost spills the beans on RJ, but she tells Rick that she'll tell him the rest once they're away. After this, Michonne finds her way up a ladder and sees exactly how big the CRM is. Meanwhile, Rick heads to his apartment where, surprise, Jadis is waiting for him. As she talks to him about Michonne, she asks what the fuck he's doing, and then tells him if they leave she'll destroy Alexandria, and we're met with a cliffhanger. What a second episode. I gotta say, we got a lot more than I thought we would. I was thinking it was going to have like an entire episode dedicated to Michonne's side of the story, and then it would catch up with Rick's side of the episode and then just end, you know, kind of like end where the first episode ended, but we got way more than that, and it makes me very happy. I really like what they're doing with the story, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. And after seeing the first 2 episodes, I feel pretty confident that we'll be getting a second season, you know, as long as nothing happens to Rick or Michonne, which, given the stakes with the other characters, I feel like might be a possibility, but I really fucking hope not. I've missed Rick since he departed in season 9, and most of the internet has, and the show is doing very well, so I feel like they should bring it around for a second season, but you never fucking know with these people, especially Scott Gimple running things. But when it comes to the CRM, I feel very comfortable saying that I think that Rick and Michonne will escape, but I also feel equally comfortable saying that they might decide to turn around and fight the CRM instead of going home, seeing as that was kind of one of Michonne's main concerns in their conversation, and I'm personally really excited to see what happens in episode 3. I want to know how the story's going to start to develop from here, and if you guys haven't yet, please go watch the show. It is so goddamn good. It is as good as season 4, 5, and 6 of The Walking Dead. Probably even better, and I've been more and more blown away with every scene of this show, and it has me on the edge of my seat every time that I'm putting these episodes on. Even in my rewatches, they're just so good. So please go watch this, and I promise
Your little fucking nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please slash that like button, leave a sub, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future killer reviews. I appreciate any and all love you guys throw my way. It helps keeps the channel growing, and helps me feel more comfortable knowing that you watch me just as much as I watch you. Anyway, I'm your friendly neighborhood hometown killer, and I will see you soon. Who am I kidding? I see you right now.